right. So before we get started, we want to make sure that we send love, peace, and God to everyone. This is a very tough time for a lot of people, definitely in Minneapolis. So we want to give our prayers and our thoughts to them before we get started with this episode. All right. So this is the elephant in the room. We really can't get started. Let's get some roll calls before we do that, let me see who's first in the chat. We got Cassandra Bradley first in the chat. Hello, my beautiful people. Saw Sign of Times on Thursday night with the Purple Fam. Got the commemorative ticket. And for those of you who don't know what the commemorative ticket looks like, hold on one second. This is it right here. Where's my camera? We'll go down. And then this is what it looks like right there. So they were giving this out on the first day, and in some theaters, because I went to another theater last night, and they were still giving them out. So depending on the theater, if they still got them, they will be handing them out, which is really cool. And then in addition to that, let's see, we got the Rickster on the stage. Welcome.
No.
What's going on?
I can't call it. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining.
You know it.
Real quickly, before we get into Sign of the Times, let's say what up, though, to Andre. We got Bad Robot. We got Chris P. Great. Yes, these are words to live by. We got RTL 49. We got April from Tampa. We got Stone Freak. Peace up, A-Town down. And Stone Freak is going to see Sign of the Times today and maybe tomorrow, too. I'm going to tell you, because I thought I was only going to see it one time, but I had to go 2 nights in a row because it was just that good, even though I've seen it a gazillion times, because for me, the audio quality was just incredible. And being in communion with other Prince fam, it's just nothing like it. So we're going to get into it in a little bit. We got Lisa Williams back from DC, saw Sign of Times on Thursday, and they're glad to be back with us. Thank you so much, Lisa. We got Anna B. And I love this quote from Prince. Technology is cool, but you've got to use it as opposed to letting it use you. We got Christina from Minneapolis. Seeing Sign of Times on Thursday was exactly what I needed on a tough week. It is a very tough week in Minneapolis. Again, we want to send our thoughts and prayers to everyone there. There's so much that can be said, but it's just really, we want to send prayers to all the families that were affected. And then we have Chanel here. So excited to take my 36-year-old daughter and 29-year-old son to see Sign of Times on IMAX tonight. They know the music, but never been to a concert. And you are absolutely right, Chanel. This is definitely the next best thing. It is so amazing how it translates on the screen. And we got Ronald Dagley Jr., who's going to see Sign of Times tonight. We got Stone Freak. Thursday night in the A, we had the Lil Love Sexy dance party. It was amazing. One for the books. Amazing. We got TP in the house. We got Nick Felden from Denver. The Denver Purple family did come out last night for Sign of Times. We got RTL 49. Excited to go and support. That's right, Sign of Times IMAX tonight. I saw it at the theaters back then, and now I can experience it again as an adult. I can't wait. We got Divas from Social Justice checking in from Athens. Athens, Greece, or Athens,
Georgia? I was about to ask the same thing. Is that Athens?
Yeah, we need clarification on that, Clarissa. And have you seen Sign of the Times? Okay, we got Drea Dances in the chat. And thank you so much, Drea, for your email. Drea emailed me and said that we should get all of the What Did Prince Do This Week fam to send the wdpdtw@gmail.com email with all your photos so we can compile them for the slideshow next week. So if you want to follow along, Andrea has already sent me her. So if you want to show, let's collectively show what the WDPDTW looks like in the theater, supporting Sign of the Times, please send it that way, and we'll have a slide with the email again, but it's really easy. It's just the acronym of but first of all, you need to know what this is called, because a lot of people don't. It's called What Did Prince Do This Week? What did Prince do this week? Or as Theo would say, why do people dance this weird? That's another acronym, but at gmail.com. And then we got Arlene. Sign of Times is Fire, Fire P, and the band expend more energy in a night than I do in a year or two. That's right, Arlene. I am so with you. Lady Cab Driver is going tomorrow. Man Ray 10, Color Me Peach and Black. And Stone Freak, yes, it was sold out basically in both of the theaters. I went to two different theaters. One theater last night, which is actually the largest IMAX in the country, at Lincoln Center 13. And then last night the previous night I went to AMC on 34th Street. And what was great about, for me, the 34th Street location was the sound. The sound was just really incredible. They really had the sound very, very loud is the wrong word, because loud makes it seems like negative, but it was really, you could feel it. Versus the venue we went to last night, the sound was great. You could hear it, but it just didn't have that same impact. So I don't know if it was a different sound system in the other theater, but the picture was large and huge and amazing. So, with everything, there's always pros and cons. So it depends on if you want to see a big picture, especially if you're in New York right now. If you really want to see a big picture, you want to go to Lincoln Center 13. They have the largest IMAX screen. Like, it was like in your face. It was so amazing. It was massive. But if you're an audio head like I am and you really want to hear it like really, really good, then I would suggest that you go to the Lincoln Center. To the 34th Street one. And then we got Love Sexy 71 here. We got TP seeing it tomorrow. And we got Chris Bournet here in the house. We got Ray Run Harris also in the house. And we got Christina saying, got my ticket, and also movie poster Sign of the Times. That's fantastic. So you got a new poster, like the latest one for this IMAX. I guess I should say, do you have an IMAX poster as opposed to the original poster? And let's see, we got Celia in the house. Saw Sign of the Times Thursday night, read a poem for Emmett Till Saturday morning, and now I'm watching y'all while getting ready to watch my JSU Tigers start defense of our HBCU National Championship. All right. And then we got Mira in the house, and we got Monera in the house. And Raywin says, I got to go see. Yes, you got to go see Sign of the Times. And then we got Sometimes I Comment on Things. I love that. And I also love your avatar. I'm seeing Sign of the Times tonight, and I can't wait. And let's see. I think that says, I'm so sad. Is that right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear this. Had tickets for Thursday with my sisters, but ended up with COVID, so they couldn't go. I'm so sad to hear that. And then we got Lady Cab Driver going to Sign of Times tomorrow. So, how can I say this? Like, maybe I'll let Ricky talk about this. So, Ricky, I know you went. So, talk to us about your experience.
First of all, you know what? I met some of our fam who were fans of the show.
Oh, nice.
So shout out to Ray and say Maria. Ray came up to me and was like, "Hey man, is your name Ricky?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you know like a D'Angelo?" And I said, "Michael Dean." I said, "Yeah, I know him." And he was like, "Yeah, listen to the show." And it was cool. It was dope. So shout out to Ray. I told him I'd give him a shout out. Man, we should have got a picture. My apologies for that, man. But we were both with our people, so we didn't get to do it. But I did get to meet him. But it was great. It was, out of the 14 theaters at that particular theaters, our theater had the most people that night for a Thursday. It was cool. It was good, like reliving it in the theaters again, because I hadn't seen it in the theater since '87, like when it first came out. It was great, just to experience it all. It was there. It was great being amongst Purple Fam, because everybody there, it was different age groups. I know some people that were there, they had remarked that that was their first time seeing Prince live.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh wow, okay, so that was totally new experience, I know, for them. Of course, for those of us who had seen him live, we got to see this again. Picture quality wise, to answer Raywin's question, I mean, it was filmed in '87, so there's not much magic that you can sprinkle on that.
Yeah.
Not to say that it was bad, because it was
not bad. It was. I mean, it actually looked pretty. It looked as good as it has ever looked. Meaning, like, it looked better than it ever has.
Yeah, and it's a very. I mean, it was already a very well filmed and like edited film. Period. So you just see all those little nuances are kind of just they I think they stand out more. Like Roy Bennett does, he does a phenomenal job with the lighting and everything, makes it, it's just great seeing it on a large scale screen and hearing it on a large scale as opposed to your flat screen at home. So that's I don't know if that answers the question or if that's what you were looking for, but it was great. I mean, so I thought it was it was a trip down memory lane for me. Like I remember seeing it at South DeKalb Mall back in '87. Flashback for you, D'Angela.
Yes, yes.
For those of us in from Atlanta and in the DeKalb County area, so what South DeKalb Mall is. They used to have a movie theater. I don't know if they still do or not, but I know they used to. And so I saw it there. People were clapping, people were singing along, people were cheering. It was great being on that like roller coaster ride again with all those people, and it was great being amongst, I went with some Prince friends who are, Purple Fam as well. Shout out to my guys. I know my frat brother Braxton. I know my Kappa guys, Vaughn, Aubrey, Bradford, Mackey. You know what I'm saying? A friend of mine, Craig. Another friend of mine, Alvin. Another friend of mine, Thomas. Some other people, man. Just it was a group of us who went, and then I met some people there. Shout out to say Maria. I met her while I was there as well. She's a fan of the show. She, tunes in, checks us out. I think she does a lot of stuff in city community as well. It was just great being amongst, people who were like-minded tastes in music. For that hour and 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. I think it is. I think the runtime.
All right, we got
what's up, Ted.
Ted, have you seen it?
Hey man, listen, let me explain something to y'all. You know I love y'all because I'm out here at the lakefront doing my walk. I'm sweaty, working out and stuff. Listen, I saw it last night.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna tell you, it made me a little melancholy, and I just want to explain to you why. I saw it last night by myself, and I hadn't seen it in the theaters since 1987. Right? Oh man, I look a mess. Y'all forgive me.
I can't call it. I if you wouldn't have said nothing, I wouldn't have noticed.
I hadn't seen it since '87, right? And that, I'm 17. I'm with my friends. Last night I saw it by myself. This is not a big Prince town. There were a handful of people there. It made me melancholy to see Prince and Kat together, and Bonnie, knowing that they aren't with us anymore.
Yes.
And, nostalgic, yes. Smiled a little bit, got a little misty a little bit. Would I do it again? Nah, not without not without a gang of friends because that's a part of the Prince experience, is like being with your people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my take on it right there.
All right. Well, we appreciate you chiming in, and hopefully you can see it with a crew, because it's like a totally different experience if you can.
Yeah, but it was dope. It was dope. It was dope to see it on the big screen. I just wish I would have been, I wish I could have been with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all. All right, much love, y'all. I'm gonna go finish this workout.
All right.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace.
Bye.
Oh, what about you, D'Angelo? I know how say was your experience?
It was amazing. I mean, it was the best thing since sliced bread. Actually, I've seen Sign of the Times live recently in the theater, maybe 2 years ago, and I saw it obviously when it first came out, and in the theaters, and I saw it a couple. I think it was 2 years ago. If I mean, it might have been less, but I saw it in the theater, and I was sitting next to this couple who had never seen Prince before. And they were just like so excited that I was watching them more than I was watching, listening to how they were responding and all of that. But it was something about both nights. I actually went with local Prince fam, and it makes all the difference if you're surrounded by people who just, love seeing Prince. But I'm going to tell you, it felt like I saw it for the very first time, particularly on Thursday night, because the sound was amazing for me at the AMC 34. It was so clear. And I also fell in love with Sheila all over again. And I've always loved Sheila. And in fact, in real time, like for me, Prince and Sheila were like on the same level. There was no protege. Like Sheila meant everything, because it was so rare to see female musicians, let alone a female drummer who was so accomplished. And I mean, I almost cried every single time she was playing. Like they would show her playing the drums. I didn't realize how emotional it is, but it's also emotional for me seeing Prince and Sheila together. I always thought that they just made magic whenever they were together on stage. And it kind of saddened me a little bit to know that, it was great to see them on the Welcome to America tour. And when I saw Sheila open for Prince on the Welcome to America tour, and I got really emotional because I just felt like they go together. Like I was talking about Billy Idol and Steve Stevens last week. Like, I just think that Prince and Sheila should just be together because they just complement each other so well. And then obviously, the other thing is seeing Kat, like Kat was incredible. I mean, just incredible. Kat has always been my favorite dancer. And because like her energy so matched Prince, and it was just so awesome seeing them together, and how just critical she was to the energy of that show was just so amazing. And then obviously you have, Wiley, and it was just so sad seeing Wiley on stage, Kat on stage, Prince on stage, and we cannot forget Bonnie Boyer, the one and only Bonnie Boyer, knowing that 4 people on that stage are no longer here with us. But it was such a celebratory mood in the auditorium that I couldn't really get, sad for too long. And it's just an amazing show. Now, when the Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe box set came out, and I love that Glam Slam show. Because like up until that Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe, Sign of Times Live was like, if you want to see Prince live, that's what you should watch. The Sign of Times Live. But when that came out, I was like, I don't know. Now I got to choose.
But you don't have to choose, but I understand.
But now, I mean, but I'm one of those people, like, if you only had like an hour to, like 2 hours to live, which one would you watch? And for me, I figured that out. It would definitely be Sign of the Times Live. Even though I love that Glam Slam show. And that just like, I don't know, when I was watching, I was like, how did you ever even think that this was a battle? Like,
I know, yeah. You know what? This is a perfect segue for early Dear Estate moment. Dear Estate, you've given us some great Super Deluxes. And with each Super Deluxe, you've given us a live show DVD.
Yes.
And it would be great if you could work something out with theaters where they could show those live shows in the theaters. for a
Mhm.
limited run.
Yes.
You have enough to do it, man, through different Prince eras, and you're not putting out super deluxes every year, so you don't have to do it like every year, but every now, you got a super deluxe out, you could release a live, show from that super deluxe and have it shown in theaters. I believe the Prince Purple fandom would show up in droves to see that. I think that would be a good look. I know for you and for his legacy. And we would love to hear that show or those shows in that surround sound theater sound quality and see it on the big screen, especially that Diamonds and Pearls Glam Slam show. I think
Oh,
that would be
that was
phenomenal. And I'm speaking in future references because I know and we know that you got some stuff in the works. And what better way than to get Prince to the masses than doing what he does best, and that is performing for the peoples. So that is my early Dear State moment.
all right.
Man, if we could get that, I honestly left there thinking, I said, man, it would be great if they did that. Seriously, what I'm saying, anyone got an estate plug, I think that would be great if they could do that, find a way to make that happen. If even just for like a weekend run or something, or just do it around his birthday time.
Yeah.
Show show those live shows. And speaking of Sheila, doing the instrumental "Now Is the Time" moment, the people where I was at, they gave her a round of applause after her drum solo. Like they was, that's kind of like made me realize, wow, it must really be some newbies in here because they had never seen it before. So they were like clapping and like raving and hooping and hollering. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I can't, I mean, it's only, I don't know. It's just reminds you of, I mean, we all know how amazing he is, but it's just like you have to see him. It's just like you have to see him perform. And that's the reason why I'm so grateful for everyone who took their daughters or sons or people that they knew. Like we took one of our neighbors who's in his 20s and he was like blown away.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. So it's so important that people who didn't have an opportunity to see him live get the opportunity to do so. And this is one of the ways to do so. So there's still time. There's still there's shows going on in IMAX theaters around the country tonight as well as tomorrow.
Okay.
So you can still see it. And yes, I love this. Everyone cheered after Sheila. That's right. It's Sheila. And yes, I love this, Nick Feldman. The kick drum was kicking last night.
They cheered after Sheila, and when Kat did her cat scat during It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night.
Yep.
I know they did that. And it was, I mean, I was just happy to see the, Prince and the whole band get love and, people just kind of giving them their flowers, just applauding and cheering and clapping after like guitar solos and singing songs and all that. It was just in the moment because, I mean, again, like I've seen it countless times.
Yes,
I probably watched it maybe like twice a month since it's been on streaming, but I was, 16 all over again, like in the theater watching it, like, I mean, for the first time, and I was clapping along and singing along with everybody else. It was just great to see him. I remember somebody in the theater, like afterwards, was like, "How come that band didn't have a name?" They were like, "What's the name of this band?" I just like, "Oh man," I said, "That's a discussion for another day."
A band with no name. That's right.
And look, I call them the Love Sign Band. Love for Love Sex and Sign for Sign of the Times. That's called the Love Sign Band.
Got it. All right. So there's some comments I really want to highlight here. One is Chris Bournet's comment about what really struck me is how Sign of the Times centers women, Kat, Bonnie, and especially Sheila, banging her head like a rock drummer the whole time. And her setup was wicked. I mean, did you see that drum kit?
Yeah.
insane. And she was playing it like really. And then the other comment I really love is from El Dabara, because I felt the same way that you did. Like the IMAX sound would make I knew the IMAX sound would make a difference, but my God.
Oh yeah, it was, you know, even that part, and it's not my favorite part of the film, but I appreciated it more because I've heard y'all rave about it so much, is the Forever in My Life part with the
Yes,
you know, the
yes.
quartet thing and all of that.
You said that it didn't connect with you.
Yeah.
You brought that up, Ricky, because like it is my favorite part, bar none, in that whole entire film. And because I've seen him perform that song in other, or heard him perform it, but it is that particular performance. And like when he like angles down,
Yeah.
and, oh my God, and he starts screaming, you know, I got to tell you what you mean to me. Like, oh my God, that is, it's so spiritual for me. Like I was so moved. I've seen that a gazillion times. I'm still moved every single time. Like I have never seen it before in my life, but it's something. And then like hearing them, like Bonnie, Sheila, and Levi say,
Yeah.
all right, like all right, and then oh my God, and then doom doom doom. It's just so incredible. I love that part, alongside the opening of Hot Thing when he's on the organ. And like,
Yeah.
while he's playing it, the light sort of goes with whatever he's playing. That is like fire,
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
So incredible. And then that look that he gives Kat, while he's on the organ as she's over there dancing, amazing. It's just like, it cracks me up every single time. There's so many more like just amazing scenes in there. And there are some things that I noticed that I had never noticed before. I don't know how, and I've seen this a gazillion times. I never noticed that the crowd had like lighters going on at
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
really? I was like, why am I not just like seeing this? Because I would be so laser focused on Prince or laser focused on Cat, but it was so massive that you could not see everything on the screen. And then another thing is I saw a couple of shots that I was like, is this a re-edit? And I had never noticed them before. One is this huge shot of Eric Lee's as he's playing and his head is down, and it's only for a split second, but it was just like, oh, I've never noticed that before. So I'm noticing things, even though I've seen this a gazillion times like you, Ricky, that I just haven't seen because the picture quality is better. Now, we're going to address the elephant in the room. Andre was like, did they fix that segue into You Got the Look or not? Now, you can't fix it, Andre.
Yeah.
You cannot fix it. And you want to know why? The reason why is that the film was shot in film. And the You Got the Look was shot on video.
Yeah.
And there is no way that you can make video look like film. It's just impossible.
I think one of the things I always loved about the You Got the Look video was how it starts off and it shows the band like they're in their prayer circle. Mm-hmm. And then they're walking towards the stage and like everyone is like laser focused. Mm-hmm. And Prince is like yawning like, all right, time to punch the clock. That cracks me up like every time. Like he's just, like he's just lackadaisical yawn. Like, all right, let's go, blow some minds tonight. You know what I'm saying? Go do our thing. But they can't fix that. It's just it's gonna be how it's gonna be.
Yes, it is. So you got to accept it, unless you want them to cut it out. The only way that it would look better is if they cut it out. Yeah. So that's really the only thing that you can do. And yes, I highly recommend that you go see it again while it's in theaters, because you won't be able to hear or see it in this way unless you have a hookup at home. Maybe if you're like Big Sexy with like a really great sound system, but it's really incredible.
Man, I mean, one of the things too, man, we got to remember, I know for us, I know in real time, this was our first time seeing like this band live ever. Like we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, Ricky. So like before, I mean, I guess, I don't know, when you would ask me, like, I really wanted that tour to come to the States in real time. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why Love Sexy was so important, because we hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
Like, we hadn't seen them live. But in retrospect, I thought about this last night. I was like, if you would have come to the States, we wouldn't have gotten this film.
The film, yeah. That is true.
I'd rather have the film.
Swap out. Ooh, that's a hard one. Yeah. Because, I mean, as much as I would have wanted to see Madhouse live, see them open up and see the stuff. I'm glad that we got the film, because I could always go back to that.
Yeah.
I can't go back. I can't go back to my Love Sexy Omni show memories or my Purple Rain memories, like that. So yeah,
you can with the Love Sexy one because of the Dortmund show.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
it's not the same. I mean, yeah, you can, and you get bits and pieces, but yeah, I think it's that's the swap out. I guess that's what we got, which wouldn't, in hindsight, it's not a bad deal, because it's being in IMAX theaters now. You know what I'm saying? And so now, like, new people can get to see it and experience it. But yes, Chanel, I think we all were kind of angry. Princeton hit us with a parade show or a Sign of the Time show.
So Kim is saying that You Got the Look music video was shot on film, but videotape of the music video was what was used in Sign of the Times. If that's the case, I wonder why they didn't get the film for You Got the Look and put it in the IMAX version.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it's like, I even thought about C. Lee's comment about Eric Lee's solo on Slow Love. I know that's not a fan favorite for some of y'all on here, but I thought about C. Lee's. He didn't become an Eric Lee's fan until he did the saxophone solo for Slow Love, and I was like, okay, that's probably the first time I paid attention to that. Since hearing him say that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a regular person, but thank you.
No. And look, you're famous in these streets, these purple streets now, D'Angelo.
No, that's okay. For me, it's all about Prince. This is why I do what I do, making sure that Prince's name remains on the lips of the children.
And look, and see, now just think about it. Back in '87, we were having the same conversation with just a smaller number of people at a smaller cafeteria table. Now we're at a larger platform with more people having the same conversation about the film, how like dynamic it is.
Yes.
You can't script it any better.
Yeah, it was really funny. I was talking to someone, and I was talking about being in a loop, being in a loop just in your life and it being a bad thing. And they were like, well, you're in a loop when it comes to Prince. And I was like, that's a good thing. And I was like, if I'm ever not into Prince, you might as well know something is very wrong, or I am like a robot or a clone, because that is
something has happened.
Yes, something has happened. So, yep. Okay, so the democracy.fund saw it in IMAX, Times Square. Okay, so I actually have some pictures from last night. I got this from Clint's Facebook, and you can see me all the way in the back to the left. It was so amazing to be with all of these amazing Prince fans. And this is, again, at the largest IMAX in the States, which is in New York, which is Lincoln Center 13. And this is the same, still last night with a smaller crew, and that's Clint right above me. And Clint has a lot of amazing photos, and also Clint is in charge of the New York, New Jersey Prince fan group, Facebook group. So if you want to know when the crew is going out to different things, you want to make sure that you subscribe to the New York, New Jersey Prince fan Facebook group. And then I just love seeing LaRonda, who's on the left, LaRonda Davis from the Black Rock Coalition. If you don't know what Black Rock Coalition is, do your Googles. And a
Vernon
lot
Reed.
yes, Vernon Reed, and a lot of other Prince fam. And so many Prince fam that I can't go through. And then these are Clint's kicks from the night, which are
Peach and Black. Go ahead. You got the Peach and Black.
Yes, that's right. Peach and Black. So that was incredible. And this was me last night. I had my cat shirt, my custom cat shirt on, which I'm so grateful for. Someone gave that to me. You know who you are. I'm not going to call you out because I don't want other people asking you for, like, I don't want your inbox to be flooded. And then I love the original poster. And I wish this original, the tagline of the original poster would be included in these IMAX posters, because it says, if you go to only one concert this year, the Prince movie is the one. That's right.
You know, it's you know, like, I'm glad to see that after 30 plus years, it's held up over time.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's aged, like, not a bit,
not one bit,
not at all. And like, that's like a beautiful thing about it. I'm just like, man, this thing, it still feels fresh and new.
Of course, our timekeeper would have, like, let's correct that. Let me go back to here.
So, blush.
These are blush and black, but they work. Okay. Oh my God. All right.
Hey, look, I'm from the Peach State. They peach.
Yeah. We didn't get the 64 box of crayons. Yeah. All right. So one of the things that you got to watch, in my personal opinion, is, if you haven't watched it in a while, is the 1987 film premiere of Sign of Times in New York. CL Community has it on their YouTube channel. It's also in the accompany playlist for this episode. I have a company playlist for all of our episodes on my YouTube channel. You go all the way down to the bottom of my YouTube channel, and there's like accompanying playlist. You can see it there. And what's really great about this particular footage is just seeing just the excitement back in 1987 and how it parallels today's excitement about Sign of the Times Live. And it's just, like, really, really, really great to see Kat, especially now more than ever that she's no longer with us. Seeing Kat, seeing Sheila interviewed in real time, it's really, really special. Because the first thing I did last night after seeing it the second time is that I had to pull out my special edition of
fancy.
Yes, because it has all these special features. And let me tell you the special features on this. One is the interview with Kat. There's an interview with Dr. Fink. There's an interview with Levi Cesar Jr. on bass. There's an interview with Susan Rogers, who recorded it. And
I need to order that.
We got Steve Purcell, who's the film editor. We got Leroy Bennett, who did the production and lighting design. We got an assistant engineer on here. We got another assistant engineer. We got the guy who designed one of Prince's guitars, Dave Roussan. And then there's also our very own Eva Krauser on here as well. And then there is a Peach and Black audio commentary on this. And it is just in a foreword by Dr. Funkenberry. So this is, like, so amazing. I can't remember what year this was released. Let me see if I can see this on the back here. Yeah, 2019. So this was released back in 2019. And this is so great just to get these interviews. So if you have it, I would suggest that you pull it out and watch some of the interviews, especially if you've just watched Sign of Times Live again. It's really, really special. All right, trying to find my mouse. Okay, so this is a great question. Do outtakes from the film exist out there? I've never seen any or heard of any, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist.
Yeah.
We can keep hope alive and hope that they do. That would be really, really amazing. And let's see what Joy is talking about. Some of us are speechless as far as Kat's dance interpretations of Prince's music. Glad you tour Sign of Times with Prince instead of Bowie, who I like too. I like them both too, but Kat and Sheila, they're just it's nothing like it. Thank you, Christina. I never know like is it worth doing the accompanying playlist? So it's nice to hear that some people find it valuable. And let's see, Sheila E was on the Tonight Show, also with Jay Leno guesting for Johnny. She did Now Is the Time drum solo. And let's see, Baby Love said, I wish that I would have taken a picture with that large poster. I wish I could have taken the large poster, but I don't know how I could have gotten out of the theater with it. And let's see. Yeah, I put this up before, but I think this is really important because I often hear people go like, I got this. Why do I need to go to the theater to see this?
Yeah.
It is so, I have multiple copies. I got the Japanese version. I got that version. Like VHS, I got the original DVD. I got a gazillion copies of this, but it is not like watching it in the theater with that sound. It's the sound, Ricky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely.
It's the sound.
Most definitely. Like I heard stuff that I mean, you know, I mean, again, it's been since '87 since I've seen it in like the theater. So my ears have to mature, and I was able to hear stuff this go round that I didn't catch. That okay, like I'm sure I didn't catch back in '87. That I you know like Prince's organ solo, like I said before, High Thing. I know when he's playing, and he's doing all the riffing and stuff. It's like man, like you never, like you see him doing it, and then like you hear it, but when you really hear it, you're catching all like the little nuances. And I was just like, oh man, he's getting down.
Yeah. So Kenneth, you said that, where's Kenneth? You said you have them on my YouTube channel. Can you say exactly what you have on your YouTube channel? Or can like you share the links in the chat or something? Yes, Kim, I noticed this. I knew it, but I forgot it. That's the reason why you have to like rewatch things, because I don't have a photographic memory, and sometimes I forget. And I totally forgot that Sheila did the post-production mixing with the original. Let's see.
Did you see Man Ray's comment? She said there's like a 4-hour Sign of the Times outtake.
Oh no! I didn't realize that.
Me neither.
Is that what you have?
Can somebody send a link for that?
Yeah, if someone can send a link of that. So D68A, thank you. Always for your video says no name on YouTube has the 4 hours of Sign of the Times film outtakes up. Okay, good to know. I'll add that to the accompanying playlist. Yes, Jeremy, you can hear Matt Fink singing back. You can hear a lot that I hadn't heard before. It was just like also hearing Prince's vocals very clear in the mix. It was like really amazing. So that's what's on the film. Watch the film. That's all I can tell you. And let's see. Yes, it does make all the difference hearing it with other Prince fam, and also new people like who are just experiencing Prince live for the first time. It's like really, really amazing.
Yeah,
it is.
I know it was the age group during my night ranged from like early, maybe 16 on up. And then I say that to say, because some people came with their parents, and then it was the 50 plus group was there, but I mean again 16 on up.
Yeah, teenagers is critical. So and actually in my last night there was someone in their single digits, or a couple, people, which was so great to see. Yes. Yeah, Uncle Earl was in the Earl Jones was definitely in the credits. And I'm glad that Christina also saw some young kids in Minneapolis, which is really important. And let's see.
Now, man, now correct me if I'm wrong. In real time in high school, I don't remember like a lot of our peers being up on going to see it like that. Like I know we were.
Ricky, you forget. So this is the thing, like people don't understand Thank you, Kim. We only have one date to talk about, but we'll talk about that later. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Speaking of another coolest moments is Dr. Fink's housequake jump on the keyboards.
Yeah.
It was very, very cool. Oh, this is so great. So Chris gathered with OSU journalism students and they got excited when I told them about Sign Times. One of them did a film review and became a fan. I hope that they will go see the film. If you could still can reach out to them, because that's what I did with my Prince class. I sent them a message and was like, you need to go see this. And I hope that they do. I'm hoping that at least a couple will. And yeah, you should definitely go, Lee Christian. All right. So Ricky, I know you know this, but it's really for people who just do not understand this. Like when we were in high school and we were in high school in this moment, 85, there were two camps. It was Michael Jackson, there was Prince. And Michael Jackson was the majority, and Prince fans in high school, our high school at least, were the minority. And when I say minority, I mean like very small numbers as compared to Michael Jackson. And the people who loved Prince were weird, were freaks. Like Prince was not like cool back when we were in school, except to the Prince people. Ricky, do you remember this? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd add like one amendment to that. It was three camps. It was the hip hop camp.
Well, they weren't even in my mental Rolodex.
Yeah. I'd say it was three factions. But yeah, but like I'm just thinking, just in terms of like 87, like that fall, like we knew about it and we were hyped about it and we were sharing people like, yeah, like you got to go see it. But I don't remember it being like one of those things where, people were kind of like coming back. Hey, look, I saw it and it was this. Cause I remember like my senior year, I had bought the videotape like by then. And I remember I brought it to school like one Friday, man, the teacher showed it in class and people were like, I didn't know this was going to be that good. And it was like a year later. So, but now I'm seeing more people, which is great, but I just don't remember at that particular time, a large faction of people my age kind of being hyped about going to see it.
And because there wasn't. I mean, because that's the point I'm trying to make. It really wasn't. And we were definitely in the minority. Yeah, JD said, I think it was perceived as less cool or suspect for guys who dug Prince.
Yeah, it was kind of rough at times.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Okay. Kim said Mike had the bad short film, but it's not the same as a feature-length film. The short film is a short film. Yeah. Okay. So we were given this love back in 87. LTK.
Yeah. It was. I mean, well, now like at our school,
I wore I had posters in my locker. I mean, everybody knew I was a Prince fan. My Prince fandom flag fly high and free. Like everybody knew. I wasn't ashamed of being a Prince fan back then.
Yeah, like those of us who were, were diehards, and we, we're down for the cause, and we rode for them strong and hard. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you always had those people who were, and granted, I do realize that a lot of our peer group were fair weather fans. They were for the moment, or say whatever was happening at that particular time. So, I am aware of that. But yeah, like it was like people rode for him. Those of us that rode for him.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yes. So the democracy.fund says being a Prince fan in 1987 got me pushed into lockers from white jocks. Like it was a real thing. You think we're exaggerating, but actually we're not. I don't think we're really getting to. It was a huge deal. It was not something that you can explain unless you were actually there. All right. So one of the things that I love from this release is Roy Bennett releasing this original stage sketch, and I think I've seen it before, but it's really nice to see it again. And looking at this stage, like the sketch for it, it's pretty accurate in terms of what actually happened on stage. I don't know if you remember the lights in the ceilings. Those lights are massive. And last night when I was looking at them, I was like, I'm so happy that they were attached, because like what would have happened if one of them would have fallen? And I know that safety is key, and I'm sure that they did that, but anything can happen. But it was nice seeing like this vision realized, like the sketch really is realized. And then also, I don't know about you, but I didn't realize that like the stair, I know it's not really stairs, but like the ramp on either side almost looks like a heart. And
Yeah, it does.
yeah, and I was looking at it last night in the film, and I was like, that is really clever. And then you can see the grill for the car already in the sketch, which is like so amazing to see. And I just love, one of the things I love about the film is all the neon lights and how it feels like a real city, even though it's a stage. And the lighting and the stage design is really, really amazing, because up until that point, if you really think about it, Controversy, well, actually, if you, even Dirty Mind to extent, Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, and Purple Rain pretty much had the same stage setup. You know,
Yeah.
there was some changes, a little minor changes, but it was like really different. Like this was different. Seeing just like, I don't know, I just really, really loved it. Okay. This is so Monir says, speaking of Sound of Time stage design, I had in my Prince collection the original stage pool sign. That's amazing. And yes, Chanel, the production was way ahead of the curve for live concerts at the time. And let's see, Lee Christian is saying, yeah, the jocks, bullies, etc. in my school would see I'm a Prince fan and asked me, are you gay? That took me by surprise, didn't know what to do. I just looked them in their eyes and said no. I love that, Lee Christian. That is so, yes, Kim. Prince loved a two-tiered stage. That's right. And I think, you know what? I think it is, Andre. That looks about right.
I thought that was in like behind the drums.
It's probably just the back of the ramp, maybe, because it's not. I don't know. That I think it might be just the back of the ramp. Let's see. Yep. Yes. Yep. I'm sure. So, all right. Let's see. Does anyone else know Prince's high heel boots look their highest during Love Sexy tour? The thing, I'm always looking. I don't know. I've always been fascinated by the buttons and things on Prince's pants. So I'm always looking at the pants more so than his shoes. Now, one thing that the estate did this past week, if I remember, is release this live version of Sign of the Times in Rotterdam, 1987, from the tour in which the audio was taken from, and it is on all your streaming platforms as well as the YouTube. So I've put it in the accompanying playlist. So I want to hear from everyone if you had an opportunity to listen to it and what your thoughts were and all of that. Okay. All right. And then let's see. If we have no one talking about that, did you have an opportunity to listen to this, Ricky? The Live in Rotterdam, the Sign Times?
That came with the Super Deluxe?
No, this is the state just released this week.
No, I have not. I did not know about it. I was kind of
because what was released in this the Super Deluxe was the Utrecht show.
Okay.
Not the Rotterdam show.
No, I'll have to check that out. I mean, it's pretty much the same set list and stuff, right?
Yeah, but it's like, yep. And Tom Bates, I agree. They should release the whole show.
Now that's one thing I do think that I miss, or that we miss, with the film to real life, that part of the show when he does like Girls and Boys and Kiss and those songs, how that visual would have looked, because we get a glimpse of it in the You Got the Look video, where we see him kind of performing some songs. You say, oh yeah, he's doing Let's Go Crazy here, he's doing Kiss here, he's doing this there, but we don't really get to see the whole thing. I think that I would have loved to have seen how those would have been interpreted live.
Yeah, I would have too. So I'm sure we're going to talk more about this next week as well. And Kim said, listen with my headphones and Apple Music. It's just a single, but it was like it got the Chris James treatment. So you want to make sure that you listen to it in a really good way. And let's see, it's nostalgic to hear about Prince's live shows. On most were at the concerts then. I was home listening to the Prince LPs with a frozen pizza and a box of ice cream sandwiches.
I ain't mad at the ice cream sandwiches. What are they?
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about Sign of the Times Live. I know someone's going to get here late and they're going to go about, what? You're not going to talk about Sign of the Times? That always happens. Thank you, Kim. Dolby Atmos. This is Dolby Atmos by Chris James. Got the Dolby Atmos treatment. And let's see. Oh, I love this. Gabrielle said, I purposely didn't listen to Rotterdam before seeing Sign of the Times at IMAX. And you will watch it or listen to it today because it's just a listen. All right. Okay. So let's get into what did Prince do this week? And we are week 35. And this is a very slow read of Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series. I'm going to put you on mute, Ricky.
Oh, okay.
Right now. And let's see. And we're going week to week, not date to date. You can follow the detailed schedule at this bit.ly link or QR code. You do not need, come on, Ricky, you got your book. The paperback, but that's the expanded version. And Ricky has the Old Testament. And let's see, Man Ray 10 is saying, and Chris James said that he was working on more releases from the vault as we speak. That is really great to hear. Thank you, Man Ray 10, for letting us know. And yes, the cross on Sign Times Live is just really great. Actually, okay, one final thing I want to talk about with you, Ricky. I want to know if you think that Prince should have ended with the cross, or if he should have ended with "It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night."
I'm torn.
Yeah,
because y'all know how I feel about "It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night."
Yeah, I know. And while Ricky's thinking, what about you in the chat? Everybody in the chat, I'm curious. If it should end with the cross, or if it should end with "It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night."
I think for theatrical dynamics, the cross was a good choice. Because it was, he was showcasing songs off that album. So, and I think it was a good choice to kind of end on a powerful note. Plus the subject matter, things like that. It is he does do a great version of it, closing out. But I think probably for like a live show, like having, like if we were actually there to see it live, I would have preferred "It's Going to Be a Beautiful Night" ending.
Yeah. I actually agree. So I've said this before on What Did Prince Do This Week. When I go to a concert, I want to leave up. I don't want to leave down or like melancholy or whatever. And I know that for some, the cross might give you joy. But for me, just because of the way that I connect with Prince's music, like it would be a downer for me. So I would have much rather it ended with "It's Going to Be a Beautiful Night." But with that being said, the cross particularly in Sign Times Live, is really powerful. I actually prefer it to the recorded version, but to be honest, I prefer most Prince songs live versus recorded anyway, so I'm not really saying much with that. So let's see. Chris Starr says, love is going to be a beautiful night, but I think the book ends of Sign Times and the cross works. I love that, like the book end. And we got Audra saying it's always good to end with the cross. Andre, the cross. Carol, send the audience out singing and dancing to a positive tune. So I'm thinking that's a vote for It's Going to Be a Beautiful Night. And Lee Christian is saying Prince usually ends on the party note. Beautiful Night is like an encore, so in a gig format, it makes sense. And I love Beautiful Night, Leaning to the Cross. The version you did was completely up and hopeful for me. And Kim says, in a show with a higher BPM. That's me, Kim. Yes, for sure. And then let's see, Vanessa saying the way he formed Anastasia on the Love Sexy tour reminds me of the cross. Yes, I got that too when I saw that. And yes, it's a vote for a Beautiful Night. And Ronald is saying it was cool how he ended it. I wouldn't have minded it either way, but I was cool with the cross, closing it out with the cross. And Joy saying the cross and the face painted cross on his face, 110%. Yes, and the cross is definitely epic. Yes. All right. Okay. I'm gonna.
Yeah. I think doing the cross last and say the film kind of gives it. It gives it like each song has their own like identity and part. You know what I mean? Like each song, like you remember like Housequake because of he does a little back thing when he's sliding on his back. You know what I'm saying? Does like you remember Sign of the Times because like the band comes out playing drums. Like each part has something memorable. I think had he done it vice versa, people wouldn't have remembered the cross as well. Had he done like done vice versa, but like putting it at the end, it does kind of give it its own kind of like like crescendo, like identity type deal. So
yeah, and then I mean, there's always something missing. I mean, obviously for me it would be the Ballad of Dorothy Parker, but we won't go there. Because,
but things also, we should have got in the film.
Yeah, and then also Adore. Yes, I agree. Yep.
Strange Relationship.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we could go down the line. It's just yes, it was yeah. All right. Okay. So exactly. Yes, that would have been amazing. The sound of a door in that system would have been great. And I love this comment from TP. The cross kind of foreshadows what's to come with. Yes, sexy. And Vanessa saying, yes, it was a crescendo. Okay, so these will be archived at Polished Solid as well as at MDean, even though Michael's not joining us, but you can find this on his channel as well. And please subscribe, like, and help spread the word. And as Ricky says, if you don't mind, as you come on in, just hit that like button if you're already here and you haven't done so. We'd really appreciate it to help out with the algorithms of YouTube and help. So for Little Red Corvette, though, Kim, are you saying it's good that was in the show? I'm thinking that's what you mean, meaning like you don't want LRC replaced, or are you saying something else? And then Chris Bournet is saying the Ballad of Dorothy Parker would have made a really cool vignette that could have been a better music video insert than You Got the Look. Yeah, I mean, there's so many songs. So Hot Thing, Housequake, Slow Love, Little Red Corvette, and You Got the Look were great also, for sure. So we want to do, thank you so much to Democracy.fun. Joy says, huge thanks to Michael Dean. I first found out about Sign Times IMAX from his post. Yes, we give many thanks to Michael Dean and everything that he does for the community, and we miss him that he's not here, but he also wants to spend some time with his family sometimes instead of hanging out with us, which I could totally understand. And so I'm assuming you're saying he just played the Ballad of Dorothy Parker at the after shows. Dear Estate. So this is a Dear Estate moment for you, Ricky.
Man.
Let's do it.
Okay, Dear Estate. If somewhere in their vast vault of videotapes, there is on like the editing room floor a version of the Ballad of Dorothy Parker that should have been included in the film, we would love to see that.
Yes.
If there is some audio of it being done live during the show, we have rehearsal audio, so we know it was being considered.
And after shows at D688.
And after shows, we would love to get all the various ways we can have to appreciate the Ballad of Dorothy Parker, whether it's audio, video, rehearsals, after shows, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. We would love to have that. So if you can make that happen, maybe Sign of the Times 40, you can kind of start to get that inside the works. You know, it's creeping on to come up real soon. So we would love for you to do that for us, dear state, make that happen. You know, because we would love to, show the love and share the musical genius known as Prince to others, and that's one way of doing it with that one song. So please do us a solid, make that possible for us.
All right, so I'm going to represent the other end of the spectrum, even though I'm not a part of the spectrum, but I have friends who will tell me this in response to what Ricky just said. We already have a lot, so we are so grateful for this Sign of the Times IMAX film. We are so grateful. I am not kidding. We are so
immensely
grateful for the Sign of the Times live in IMAX, getting the IMAX treatment nationwide.
Yeah.
It was different. It was just in like a few cities, but nationwide. And it's so amazing to see non-Prince or just, like the general population also coming to see Prince. It is so important. It really goes back to Ricky's first Dear State moment of the episode in terms of getting more Prince concerts in the theater so that the general masses can see what a masterful musician that Prince was. We are so grateful. So I know some of you might think that we are complaining. We are not complaining. We love that I didn't know. I wasn't expecting this year. And it came right on time when we need some joy in the world. And you can have a little joy for 2 hours if you go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a pleasant gift for the summer.
Yeah.
I can't think of like, I forget who it was. I first saw it on Michael Dean's page too, because he mentioned it. I was like, oh wow. I said, okay. And I think when I first saw it, I wasn't sold like that I was going to see it. It wasn't until later I was kind of like, you know what? I think I'm going to go see it, because I'm not a big IMAX person. And this was my first time going to IMAX theater to see something at IMAX. So,
wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So like, it was, shout out. I mean, again, man, to the estate, like, I know some people give y'all a hard time. I'm not one of them today.
Yeah.
Man, I'm grateful that, I got to see it, some other people, you know what I'm saying? And like the love, I'm probably more grateful that I'm seeing so many people go and they're sharing the experiences, and they're taking friends and family, and newbies get to go and all that type of stuff. I mean, people get to see it. It's like a wonderful thing. I mean, for a Thursday night to be sold out, or have half the theater, some majority theaters full for this concert film Thursday night, like
40 plus, like 40. Yeah. Almost like we're going on almost 40 years.
Yeah.
So like for these to be selling out for something that's almost 40 years old is incredible. And that just speaks to the genius of Prince, because this is all about Prince.
Yeah.
And also the amazing musicians who accompanying him on stage. And it's like all of them, like with love in the middle, all love them.
Yeah.
Like all of them. Them all. So yes. So Chris Bournet is saying, my coworkers asked me why Sign Times were released. Was there a special anniversary? I said there doesn't need to be a special occasion. It's on a movie screen. You got that right, Chris Bournet. You tell them. All right. Okay. So we're going to transition. Oh, wait. Okay. Back in 87, I took my 2 aunts to see it. They came out of the theater floating. I love that. And
That's
yeah,
funny.
democracy.fund. What the world needs now is a little joy, just a little bit, and Prince can provide that for you. And it's one of the reasons why I've always been drawn to Prince. Like whenever my world, whenever reality gets down or sideways, there's always the purple world where everything is all right. So, and yes, I love this Montanier. Every day it's a Prince anniversary because
something's being celebrated.
Yes. All right. So I don't have any numbers about how many people have seen Sign of the Times so far, or how much money was gross. Can somebody do some Googling and see if we can find out? Because I haven't. I've just been basking in the joy of just being able to see this. So yes, I love this LTK where you can always see the sun, day or night. That's right. All right. Let's again. If you want to share with us any photos you've taken as you go to see Sign of the Times IMAX, send them to wdpdtw@gmail.com and I will put them in our slideshow. Make sure you tell me what city, and if you want to be like super generous, let me know what theater it is in case people want to go to that theater. So if you want to, this is that would be great to collect some photos of the WDPDTW fam and what theater you went to. Okay. All right. We still haven't gotten through housekeeping, Ricky. That's how this is going today. We're over an hour in. Okay, the timekeeper is very mad with us. And so this is our disclaimer. The State of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated, associated, or connected with the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. This is an independent endeavor, and I want us to be mindful of our community guidelines. We choose to be a community even when we disagree, and it's totally fine to disagree because we're only talking about music in terms of songs, and everyone doesn't like the same song. Everyone doesn't like the same album. Now, we started off the set like an hour and a half, almost an hour minutes ago with No Words, Eric Leeds and Paul Peterson, 15 Minutes of Shame from 2017. And I forget that Steve Park, I had to remind myself, Steve Park actually took this photograph. It's one of my favorite. I love the silhouette. Love this album cover. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, that's what's up, Steve Park. Okay.
Steve Park. And then there's this fire version of 15 Minutes of Shame from Live at Ice House. And I actually had the opportunity to see this live. This whole show was like fire. I wish the whole thing was online, but it's not. But you can at least see 15 Minutes of Shame. And it's in the accompanying playlist. And these are the players. You can see it's composed and produced by Eric Leeds and Paul Peterson. And we're going to get into week 35 of What Did Prince Do This Week? And I think what I'm going to do, because let me see here. There was basically 0 studio sessions this week. 0 studio sessions. And because he's again over in France about to get started on my favorite Prince film, Under the Cherry Moon. And there's only one date in the book this week, and that is Monday, August 26, 1985, which is the release of Romance 1600. Let's see. Oh, hold on one second. Let's see. I wonder why they didn't add extra footage of Sign of the Times movie, because I heard the last song he performed was Purple Rain. Can you say a little bit more? I'm not following.
Probably doing the live show itself.
Yeah.
Purple Rain was a live show, but I think the goal was to promote the album.
Yeah, for Sign of the Times Live. I mean, for Sign of the Times, right?
Yeah. And so to promote the album, that's probably why like Little Red Corvette is just that little snippet of maybe like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to make sure the other songs got more screen time.
Yeah. All right. So Ricky, can you do the honors of reading page? Well, you have a different page. It's Monday, August 26th.
Sure.
and read the quote.
All right. Sheila E's second album, Romance 1600, is released on Paisley Park Records, 2 weeks and 2 releases on Prince's new Paisley Park record label. Quote, Sheila E., they thought the whole thing about the first album was to sell sex, which was how it was presented. But for the second album, I cut my hair and wore a long sleeve blouse and long pants because I wanted to be seen as a strong musician, but no one got it. It says reviews of Romance 1600 included The Citizen in Ottawa, who praised Sheila E. as the most promising Prince spinoff, but many of the reviews were largely lukewarm, if not entirely critical. People magazine praised Mercy for the speed of a mad clown in summer, but only for the title and because the song was an instrumental. The lyrics of other tracks range from foolishness to cornball, saving their rare praise for Prince's mean bass and Eddie M. sax, ending the harsh review of the LP's final score is Romance 1600, Music 0. Rolling Stone gave the album 2 out of 5 stars and also praised Eddie M's work, notably his sax solo on Dear Michelangelo, which they called a piece of genuine inspiration. Unfortunately, they reported that the only standout track was A Love Bizarre, and even that song had major flaws. It is likely some of the reviews were a reaction to Prince's involvement and the backlash that was gathering steam. Although it wouldn't have had the same, although it wouldn't have the same success as her debut album. Several standout tracks, including Sister Fate, Bedtime Story, A Love Bizarre, helped the album reach number 12 on the Billboard Soul LPs chart. It peaked at number 50 on the Billboard Pop Album chart. Despite the layers of secrecy in place to keep the general public from understanding how deeply Prince was involved with the music of his proteges, both Sheila E.'s album and the recently release from The Family were insightfully summed up by critic Evelyn Erskine, who felt that each seems to be playing out a part of Prince's personality through separate, well-staged dramas.
All right. So my first request is if anyone has the Rolling Stone review of Romance 1600, I would love to have that. If anybody has like a digitized copy, or even if you have the actual copy, if you don't mind taking a photo and sharing it with me at wdpdtw@gmail.com for What Did Prince Do This Week, I would really, really appreciate it. So I have a lot to share. The first thing I want to share is the actual album, and I still have my, Ricky, you'll see.
Turtles.
I got this.
Turtles records and tapes.
Turtles, the one on Camden Road.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I still have my like little paid sticker on it.
Okay.
And you can see it was only $7.49.
Well, I tell you what, but we was doing albums of service, boy.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks of no eating. $5 each week. So
that's 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks of no eating. To get that with the tax and everything, but it was so worth it.
You know, it's funny. I was playing that album this week, and said my wife was like,
"Oh, nice."
She said, did D'Angelo give you like a homework assignment or something? I said, why you say that? She said, because you never play this.
So did you play it because it was the anniversary this week?
Yeah, it was just just happened to be, and then I was playing it, and she was like, why are you playing this? And she was like, because you never play it. I thought that was funny. I said, yeah, she gave me a homework assignment. So
yeah, and Ted says he still has Romance 1600. See, Ted hasn't even gotten rid of Romance 1600. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, for those of us that were heavy into the Purple Kingdom at that time, it was definitely, most people that I know got it if you were on board the Prince train.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you were invested, because the Sister Fate video had been getting some circulation.
Yes,
So
sure. So I'm gonna do a Dear Duane moment.
okay.
So Duane, don't take this personally. You know, I'm just trying to have a little fun. This is done out of fun. There's no pressure, sort of. Okay. So, Dear Duane, if you're watching, when is the third book about the sign of times and sexy? That's what we want to know.
Oh man, you know what? I co-sign that Dear Duane moment. I'm kind of.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, because as I was watching the Sign of the Times film on Thursday, I was thinking, man, Duane's going to cover this in his book. Like, he's going to have to cover the like original, like, theatrical, say, release and what this was in this time period and everything. So it should be interesting. If y'all think book 2 is on something, man, book 3 is gonna be,
it's gonna be fire, as they say. Yes. Okay. So Ted is giving us a question. I know. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Thank you for this backup. I need some backup so Duane doesn't kill me. All right. So Ted asks, what does Sometimes It Snows in April and a song from Romance 1600 have in common? Does anybody know?
Okay, riddle me this, Batman. That is a good one.
I
don't know, Ted. You got to tell me that one, because I'm not even trying to. Same chord structure? Same chords?
Nice. Nick Felden has a German CD press and a Romance 1600. Nice. Love that. So the songs, just so that everybody remembers, Sister Fate, Dear Michelangelo. I love Prince's version on originals of Dear Michelangelo. That is so incredible. If you haven't heard that, I need to put that in the accompanying playlist. Obviously, A Love Bizarre is fire, fire, fire. Especially the live one from Romance 1600 with Prince on stage with Sheila. Toy Box, Yellow, Romance 1600, Mercy for the Speed of a Mad Clown in Summer, and Bedtime Story. So Kim says, Prince is playing on it, Ted. Is that your answer? Okay, so Ted Talks Space says, Toy Box is a hint. Okay, so Ted, Toy Box is one of my favorite songs personally. So yes, okay. We gotta do another Dear Estate, Ricky. Let's do
it. More originals. I leave it up to you. You
Me?
go ahead, do it. Yeah. You do the one for the originals.
Okay. All right, let me preface this. Dear Estate, we know we asked for a lot. We are so aware of this, but I would like to, after the Love Sexy box set, and I know some people would say a Parade box set, but I'm going with Love Sexy. And I'm sure the Parade box set would probably come out before a Love Sexy box set. So anyway, if you put the box sets aside, we would love to have a second volume and a third volume and a fourth volume, for that matter, of originals. It is the best thing ever. And we've been saying this a lot, but it bears repeating. Particularly, you never know when someone sees something. So what we really loved, if all the time records were released in a box set with the original versions, with Prince singing some of the songs like we got with Gigolos Get Lonely Too, as well as like a Vanity 6 box set with all of Prince's vocals, as well as the originals remastered, as well as an Apollonia 6 box set with Prince's vocals, all remastered, as well as a family box set remastered with all of Prince's vocals. That would be fire, 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 fire. And we could go on and on and on and on. If you don't want to bundle those original demos of they're not really demos, just Prince singing those songs, you can do another volume of originals. It's the thing that I personally go back to a lot. I love hearing Prince singing those songs, and it's so important for the non-Prince fans to understand that Prince was a very prolific songwriter, And I've even heard my mom go, "Oh, I didn't know that Prince wrote that," from some of the original songs. So originals is really, really important. And I hope that we can get more of them.
So he's probably one of the few artists that has a lane with that. That he has a lane where he did stuff for other people, but there are versions of him doing those songs that he did for other people. Not many other artists can say that.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's no Jam and Lewis demo version of them doing, Janet tunes. It's just, them just kind of, presenting to her. That's something. I guess scholastic. What's the word I want to use? I guess is a scholastical a word?
We'll take it. Yeah. I won't even get into language. Sometimes I get all language is made up just so that everybody understands that. And a language becomes a language because people agree that, it's a word and all that. So I'm not going to get into that. Okay. So Ted is schooling us and saying that Toy Box
and Sometimes It Snows in April.
April have the same melody. Prince loved a simple melody.
Ah.
Yeah, we would have never gotten that.
Go. Okay, Ted.
Oh, wait, Blade Brown got it before Ted posted that. So Blade Brown gets the win.
Okay, the melody of his vocals in the lead line. All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Ted out here schooling the peeps. See, man, I told you your voice is needed, brother.
Yeah.
I tell you. Blade Brown with the catch. Okay, Blade.
I love this comment from Gabrielle. Thank you, Gabrielle. Dearest Ted, it only seems like we're asking for a lot because there is a lot. We are not being greedy, even though I have one friend who would tell us that we are being greedy. And actually, I have more than one friend who would say that we're being greedy, but I don't know. Yeah, originals is where is that? And Ricky said, did you mean scholarly?
Scholarly. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, because that's something that could be that could be studied just on its own.
Yes.
In terms of just his songwriting and how he did things like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I personally haven't seen Prince play a wind instrument live, but Jill did post. Somebody, I think it was Jill Jones, but someone posted a program from Prince's high school where he was playing the saxophone.
Yep. Yeah, him and Sonny T was in the band. I think Andre was in it.
Yeah.
I think Andre was in the band. They were in middle school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Middle school. Yep. Thank you so much, Ted, for the musicology. We need more of that on here. Let's see. Oh, I saw something that I wanted to highlight, but I can't find it. Where did it go? First of all, Joy, thank you so much for telling that person about what did Prince do this week. And also, I'm thrilled to hear that you're ordering Duane's book through Barnes & Noble, and that's really great. So maybe by you ordering it, Barnes & Noble might put something on the shelf. And I already had this on the screen, but I just love this idea. What time is it? The complete collection, which would be really amazing. And I still can't find what I was looking for, but that's okay. So, Ricky, do you want to? It's because you can, if you want to, you can.
No, I stick around for a few. Okay. I got a few. I just want to give you a heads up.
Okay. So this is the front cover and back cover, which you saw when I held it up. And this is the inner sleeve. And I love the focus on the band. And as you know, we had Eddie M join us for the Pop Life 40 virtual symposium that we had earlier this year in April. And I also put his keynote in the accompanying playlist. So Romance 1600 is also on Paisley Park, and these are the labels on the records, and you can clearly see the Controversy music / Sister Fate music. And these are the promo photos that accompanied that Warner Brothers would send out as part of the press package. This is one of them, and the gear. And then this is one of my favorite photos, which is essentially the cover of Sister Fate 12-inch and single.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Always love this photo. And it's also one of the promos. That's funny, Kim. Kim has how much hairspray? Probably a lot back then. Okay. And then these are some more promo shots from the era. and a very different vibe. I really love, so the album, whenever I think of the album, I think of like the two left photos, like just that kind of like what she has on. But I really love the one to the right, which is to me a totally different vibe because it's more dark. And there's the Love Bazaar. It's basically from the video shoot for a Love Bazaar single. This is a Billboard magazine ad, which is pretty amazing. I love some of the bylines on the cover. One is "I found happiness in Paisley Park." A reader's story, which I thought was great, and Sheila E from The Glamorous Life to Romance 1600, because we still have this like film thing, because remember it says Sheila E in The Glamorous Life.
Yeah.
And then
oh yeah.
For Romance 1600, actually it'd probably be better if I just go back to the slides so you can see it. You can't see, it says this big N. Yeah, you can see my mouse. See, it has that big N. So Sheila E in Romance 1600, which is like really cool. And let me see. The credits on The Glamorous Life really stick with the movie theme, but they don't really do that as much as they did with The Glamorous Life one on Romance 1600.
Didn't they give the band members certain types of names or something? I think on the back of things, like Sir or
yes,
Baron or something like that.
I'm glad. Let's do it. I just got to take off my glasses. So we got Eddie M as Master Eddie.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we got Juan E as Sir Dance a lot, percussion. We got Carl P as the court jester, drums. We got Ken G as the Earl of Grey, keyboards. We got Steph B as Sir Stephen, guitar. We got Susie D as Dame Kelly, keyboards. And we got Benny R as Benatino, the wizard, bass. So yes.
Benny went on to play with Miles Davis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And played with Santana too.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's on the Santana Smooth. So whatever album Smooth was on with Matchbox 20 dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did a stint with Miles Davis, and with matter of fact, the live Miles Davis, I think video live in Paris. He's playing on that, and he's on the Live Around the World CD.
Okay.
So yeah.
So actually looking at these first of all, this is very hard to read.
It is. I do remember that.
It's very hard to read because this is not what they would call accessible type. Like, I don't know if you can see it, like, it's not accessible, but actually I take that back. So on the credits, it says starring Sheila Escovedo as Sister Fate on vocals, timbales, drums, blah, 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 in the credits, as well as co-starring, and then it lists all the band members. And then also appearing special guest star Prince as Prince, acting on guitar and bass, sings 3 and 4, background vocals, sings 3 and 5. So if we go back to so if you look at the label here, it does say, instead of sides, it actually says scenes.
Yeah.
And you got Reel 1, REEL 1 versus Reel 2, REEL 2.
Oh, that's cool. I never paid that much attention to it on labeling.
Yeah, for
cool.
Sure.
I gotta head out, everybody. It was cool. Great vibing with y'all. To the people I met, Ray and say Maria, I met on Thursday. It's good meeting with y'all. Glad y'all are here. You know what I'm saying? Throw some in the chat. Let us know you got it. To all of those that went out to see Sign of the Times, glad you enjoyed it. To all those who are going, I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to sponsor someone else to go, please, feel free to do so. Let us show them some love. Till next weekend, I'll catch y'all later.
All right. Thank you so much, Ricky, for stopping by. Really appreciate it that I wasn't by my lonesome.
Oh, no, I'm not going to leave you out there like that.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes. Of course, Black. We never forget this. I just didn't put it in this time because we've talked about that during the Pop Life 40 symposium, and I just wanted to kind of concentrate on the Romance 1600 today. All right. So in terms of, let's go back here, and let's see. Then another headline is Sister Fate, the advantages of being single. And then special interview, Sheila E. talks about writing, arranging, producing, and performing. So this is a billboard ad from November 9th. I don't have a really good image quality of this, but what it says at the top I think is really important. 2 artists, 1 hit, Sheila E. and Prince. And you can see A Love Bizarre. I really love like this design direction as opposed to the other direction, but that's just me. And I love those yellow gloves. And this is the actual Japanese single here, which is great. I'm sure maybe some of us have this. I don't have this. It's a beautiful single. And this is a Japanese magazine, which I didn't see this in real time. And it's so incredible to see like this pink and fuchsia. It's like, if this would have been instead of like the light baby blue, I think this would have been a really interesting color palette to go in. I think it's pretty amazing. And I've said this a gazillion times, but I'll say it again. I absolutely love that Sheila wrote backwards. When I got to meet Sheila for the first time, she signed a promo picture for the time for her 3rd album, which was Sex Symbol, and it's CYMBAL for symbols from a drum. And I actually started writing backwards in my diary because Sheila wrote backwards in her diary. Well, not in her diary, but wrote everything backwards. So I was like, I got to do this too. So I learned to read backwards because it got too much just putting it up to the mirror to try to figure out what it says, and got to write backwards. And I did that for a long time. But like Sheila, I stopped at one point, but I recently saw that Sheila has gone back to signing backwards, which is really great. And this is another photo. It's the same photo, but one is more color corrected. I got 2 different sources of this one image, but then you can see one is cropped and the other one is not. And then this is, I don't know where this article is from, but I wanted to read a little bit of it. How we're doing on time? We're doing pretty good on time. So let me pull it up really quickly, if I can find it so I can actually read it. Okay. So it says, from rhythm to rap, Sheila E. Prince, percussionist and solo singer, flits across the ages with a Renaissance LP and a hip-hop film debut. Sheila E.'s 2nd album, Romance 1600, finds her in the driving seat as songwriter and producer for the first time. We asked her if she found it difficult to follow up her Glamorous Life album, which was written and produced mainly by Prince. And this is Sheila. Not really. The actual writing of the songs came fairly quickly. The real problem was the recording while I was still on the Purple Rain tour. I'd be sound checking at 6, playing the gig, showering, then going straight to the studio around 1 a.m. and working all the way around to the next sound check. The album was completed in a phenomenal 5 days. I was really surprised at how good it sounded. I didn't listen to each individual track. I just went ahead with the next track and listened to them all at once at the end. Prince played on one of the tracks on the album, Love Bizarre, and he really liked the rest of it, but it was my album. Sheila's recently moved on to the silver screen with a film debut in the hip-hop rapping movie Crush Groove. My character is Sheila, and I'm basically playing myself. I get discovered singing in a nightclub by the band Run DMC. They befriend me and teach me to rap, and I become their lead singer. With no acting or rapping experience, perhaps it was a little surprising to find Sheila in the role. Sheila says, I guess they just figured me and my music would be right for the part. I've always liked rapping, even though I'd never done any. And it goes on and on about that. But like I said, I really want to focus more on Romance 1600 as opposed to Crush Groove. And And so you have a little bit of that. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay. And this is a Japanese LP poster. We didn't get an LP poster. That would have been really cool for the States if we too would have gotten an LP poster. And then this is another Japanese promo poster as well. And I would love to have this, love to have. I have never seen this. I've only seen this photo of it, but this is a Romance 1600 laser disc Japanese promo poster. And if you look really closely, it is Prince and Sheila from the Romance 1600 live video performing a Love Bazaar. You have to look really closely. You can see them. And obviously, it is mirroring a cart design. And I just think it's really, really brilliant. So if anybody has this, I would love to get like a better image of this, like a straight on. But this is an amazing promo poster for the laser disc, if you remember laser discs. All right. And then this was another Japanese ad. I love this fit. Like if this would have been the look for, like the album, I just love the gold. And obviously we're getting ready for 34, the gold experience. So this obviously reminds me of the gold experience, but love this gold on Sheila. Great, great Japanese ad for Yamaha drums. Great ad. And then this is the Japanese tour book, some like the cover and the like table of contents. And I think this is the back of the Japanese. I don't have this, but if anybody has it and you want to share with us, like everything that's in it, that would be amazing. Like maybe create a video for us. I would love that, to see the entire thing. Really, really great. Again, that photo that I love so much. This is funny, Ted. So Sheila was my wife. Again, I would like, for me, Sheila was everything. I cannot put in words how important Sheila was to me in real time, and she still is. And watching Sign of Times live just reminds me of how powerful a musician Sheila is, and she doesn't get enough credit on how amazing that she is as a drummer, because I know some people, some drummers knock her for her drumming, but I think she plays amazingly on a drum kit. All right, here's some more shots of her during the Romance 1600 live tour. And you can see those hills. And then I love this, which is a video promo folding stand-up for the actual VHS tape. And I have it. I just didn't pull it out today. I showed it during the Pop Life 40 virtual symposium. But I love this folding stand-up. And then this is a poster that I have never seen, which is really great. In the left-hand corner, it says on VHS and beta video cassette. And then in terms of the banner, the choral banner, it says Sheila E video, Live Romance 1600 with special guests, Prince and the Revolution. And then it says intro and all the songs, including Erotic City, which is great. I really wish Prince would have came out for that. In addition to Love Bazaar, I really wish that Erotic City was right before Love Bazaar so that Prince could have accompanied her on Erotic City on the stage, as well as a Love Bazaar. That would have been like fire. And these are just some more shots from the era. Love this cape, which is again from the Sister Fate single, but seeing it, on her in performance is like really incredible. And then these were some later shots from '86 where you can see her hair is growing out, but I really love that she still has this cape because it's pretty amazing. And obviously the cutout. Yes, her heels are high. And everyone should know, like, she actually, if you read her autobiography, she had to go to the hospital because one of her lungs collapsed or something like that, because her heels were so high that it made her stance not in a natural way, and it really caused her eventually to go to the hospital. So, you want to make sure that, sometimes, fashion can be hazardous to one's health. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend that you read her autobiography, Beat of My Own Drum, it's something like that. So yes, I saw that, Tom H. I don't like Lionel Richie, but I went to this concert because I wanted to see Sheila E. I actually stayed for it, the Lionel Richie, because she came back during Lionel Richie's set, because she used to play with Lionel Richie before she became Sheila E. and blah, 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 all that. Yes, suffering for the arts. Yes, for sure. It happens a lot, more than you know. And again, I've already said this, but I just want to remind you that we had an amazing conversation with the one and only Eddie M for the Pup Life 40 Symposium. And if you haven't seen it, that is also in the accompanying playlist. Okay, I wanted to try to find a review of Romance 1600 from the Star Tribune, and I was able to find one. So I am going to read it. And this is from our beloved John Bream. And this is an interesting article. And it's actually from October, which I found fascinating, because Romance 1600 came out in August, but it was only reviewed in October. And in addition to Sheila E.'s Romance 1600, John Bream also reviews The Replacements, Tim, as well as Tamara and the Scene, which is Jesse's group on A&M Records, as well as Morris Day, who was solo by this time with Morris's Color of Success, Warner Brothers. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to concentrate on Sheila's, on the Romance 1600 review. So here we go. Romance 1600 is Sheila E.'s second album, and there's more of her on it than her debut. The Oakland, California singer, percussionist, and Prince may be kindred spirits, but Saucy Sheila still isn't her own act. Okay. Toy Box is all R-rated Prince with its funky groove and jivey ending, and the Purple Like Yellow is finger-snapping, smart-talking swing. A Love Bazaar, for which Prince takes writing credit, is hands down the best thing here. An apparent sequel to Erotic City, his 1984 duet with Sheila, the sly, sensuous meander appears in the new film Crush Groove, in which Sheila co-stars. The song could be a big hit. The radio version likely will exclude playful Prince bass line from, I can never pronounce that, and most of Eddie M's, a seductive saxophone, which snakes in and out of the 12-minute version on the album. Sheila proves seductive herself on Bedtime Story, a pillow talk ballad that showcases her voice instead of the music for a change. All right, let's see. Tom is saying, I remember seeing Lionel leaving a show and he rolled down the window, stuck his head out, and yelled outrageous. That's pretty funny. I wish Michael was here because he would give us an outrageous. Yes, of course, the Commodores are definitely legendary. And Christina is saying Replacements Tim is a great album. Nice. Okay. I love this. So Kim is saying, my dude at Warner Brothers says that there's some Around the World Day stuff in the pipeline. And yes, Vanessa knows her Prince. That is definitely Margie Cox, also known as Tamara of Tamara in the Scene. And let's see. That is a good question. I wonder how Prince felt about Lionel, is it what I call him. Let's see. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for emailing the picture. And again, if you want to send your Sign the Times pics at IMAX to us so we can compile them for the What Did Prince Do This Week fam, that would be really great. Yeah, it's definitely better. The Star Tribune John Bream review is better than the Rolling Stone one. That's for sure. And love this. So we got vote. I love yellow. And what I found interesting when I did the Eddie M interview is that he wasn't on Yellow because he just needed a break. He was like, because it just seems like he would have been on Yellow, but he's actually not on Yellow because he, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. Now, what I want to do really quickly is go on Prince Vault because that's what we do. And I'm going to share this tab instead. And I think you can see what I'm seeing. Yes, you can. So what I love about Prince Vault, and we got to give so much gratitude to Prince Vault and everything that they do on Prince Vault. It's just really incredible. You know, in this review by John Bream, you know, he says that Sheila still isn't her own act. And there is some merit to this because if you look at all the songs, there's Prince involvement in it. And you know there's Prince involvement in it when there is a link. And what I like about Prince Vault is if you visit an album and if there's no link from that song, that means that there is no Prince involvement. So you can see there is Prince involvement in every single song on this album. We're not going to go through this because of time. We're already almost out of time. But just be aware that Prince had a heavy hand in this particular album, especially Sheila's first two albums, less so with the third album, which is Sex Symbol. And we'll talk about that when we get to that point. All right, so let me go here again. All right, so this is another really quick article I want to read because this is from, again, in real time, from a magazine that I used to read a lot in real time, which is called Rock and Soul. So let me read this really quickly. And so Sheila E was voted number 17 in Rock and Soul's 1985 Readers Poll. Sheila Escovedo spent nearly half of 1985 on the road. As the year began, she opened America's largest arenas for Prince and the Revolution, and we went through that journey during the beginning of the year on What Did Prince Do This Week. So if you're just now joining us, we had every week. It was amazing. It was like being on tour again during the Purple Rain tour. We did that last year as well as the beginning of this year, so you can go back and watch those. When that tour ended in April, she busily began working on Romance 1600, the album that would follow her successful 84 debut, The Glamorous Life. Just as the video for Sister Fate started to get around, Sheila took off to Japan for a 12-city tour. She's expected to start the year with an American tour, sharing the bill with the family. Now, that would have been amazing, but obviously that did not happen. Sheila's music career began years ago when she played in Latin and rock groups in the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, towing the heart of her greatest admirer, Prince, Sheila has seen countless doors open to her. She was the only member of Prince's Purple Rain to sing on We Are the World, and in a cameo appearance played the Traps on Prince's Pop Life. Like most of Prince's comrades, she's become an actress as well, starring in Crush Groove alongside New York's top rap crews. She sings one song, Holly Rock, on the soundtrack LP. And again, we were talking about originals. There's an amazing version of Prince's version of Holly Rock on originals. All of the women in Prince's camp have used sexuality to titillate the masses, and Sheila's no different. On the Purple Rain tour, she ended her set wearing nothing but a bikini. Mid-show, during each evening performance, she invited a fan on stage, only to shock him by grabbing his groin to illustrate her lyrics. At one point, she also suggestively asked the audience if they'd like to play her timbales, then shook her breasts. Despite these distractions, however, musicians agree that Sheila is one of the best percussionists around. Nevertheless, at the last minute, the producers of Saturday Night Live canceled her appearance the night Reverend Jesse Jackson was to be guest host. They felt he wouldn't approve of her. Prince made a cameo appearance in Sheila's video for Sister Fate. He also sings with her on a Love Bazaar, her second from the Romance 1600 LP. I don't know. I don't really consider that a cameo appearance, but yeah, Prince's image appears in the Sister Fate video. Although she's still tied in with Prince professionally, she won't reveal to what extent they are involved on a personal level. Word is they're still this close, and there's no space between this close, which I thought was very cute. Okay, and one of the captions is Sheila recently cut off her hair and is sporting a new Victorian style wardrobe. In real time, we sort of take this for granted, but yeah, I guess I didn't watch, Saturday Night Live closely back then. So do we have any SNL people in the chat? Like, did you see the Jesse Jackson SNL? So that was, we got a yeah, and we got, yeah, so we got a couple of confirmations. And LTK said, who thought Jesse Jackson and SNL was a good fit? Yeah, so this is from, again, a magazine in real time, 1985, Rock and Soul magazine. So that's, yep. So, yep, so that was in there. Okay, let's move on. And for the music break, really quickly, I wanted to know if anybody went to go see this. Probably not. Corey Henry on the West Coast. If we have any West Coast, I would really want to know. And then this is going on right now, and I'm sure none of us went because I don't know. No one's been talking about it. But I'm super excited for this upcoming event at the Ice House. And we just talked about Eric Leeds and Paul Peterson playing at the Ice House earlier. And there's going to be Corey Henry there, as well as Stokely and other members of Mint Condition, alongside one of my favorite drummers, Chris Daddy Dave. So this is going to be in Minneapolis, for those of you who might be in Minneapolis on September 15th. So I highly recommend that you see Corey Henry for sure. And then Bilal's coming up, and there's a lot more shows I wanted to add it, but I ran out of time just because of all the Sign of the Times stuff. And then we talked about Vernon being at Blue Note on September 24th. And then in Seattle, there's going to be Bilal for free on October 4th. I'm really keeping this in here for Michael Dean's, because I'm hoping that Michael Dean will go see Bilal. At least I hope so. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We only have, I cannot believe this, 20 days until the next symposium, which is on September 20 and 21st. It's going to be a Saturday and Sunday. And you can find the registration through going through pre-registration. I need to make sure I say that, pre-registration, through the Substack link, which you can find by clicking on the pre-registration link at the top of the StoppPodSolid.com website. Time is definitely flying, Love Sexy, for sure. And we want to make sure that we continue to send up our prayers and thoughts for Dr. Funkenberry. Please help out with his GoFundMe if you're able to do so. And if you're not, just send him a kind word and let him know that we're thinking about him and we wish him a speedy recovery, even though it's been going on for a long time. So we hope that he continues to heal. That's so important. And then we've been talking also about Addie Durant, who was very instrumental for the Clubhouse version of Purple Rain, which was done by fans, which was incredible. You can still hear it. They basically performed the entire Purple Rain film. They had sound effects and everything. It was like an audio version of Purple Rain, and it was really magnificent. So I hope that you'll help get Addie back on her feet. And then Des Dickerson also has a GoFundMe. And yes, Vernon is really, really great. So yeah, Vernon talks about that a lot, actually. Yep, about what happened in the mid 90s around Prince Nona and Maite. And yay! Yes, that's something I wanted to add to the slide deck, but I didn't get around to it. But yeah, the Don Blackman tribute at City Winery, that's also going to be Bilal. It's going to be amazing because it's going to be Bilal and Chris Robb, which is Purple Fam. So I'm so excited about that. And I'm so happy to see that all of you are happy about 30. And yes, I was supposed to add this to the slide deck as well. Jam and Lewis are going to be in Stockbridge tonight. And Kim is still trying to figure out if they have enough strength and money to see Jam and Lewis. You need to try to make it, Kim. This is like historic. I would try very, very hard if I could, if I was in your shoes. And Christina says, St. Paul was great last night. Seeing Dr. Fink after Sign of Times was cool too. I'm sure that it was. It was so great, actually. I think it would be really great to see some live music by all of the Minneapolis players after seeing Sign of Times live. That was a nice way to do things, Christina. Let's see. Okay. And I think, yeah, so I have lots in the playlist. I'm going to add that the Sign of Times live, like the additional footage, the 4 hours that we were talking about earlier. You want to make sure, though, that you watch that video again that CL Community posted about the 1987 film premiere in New York, if you want to relive what it was like in real time, particularly those of you who went or are going to go see Sign of Times live in IMAX, and I highly recommend that we all do. Again, we want to vote with our dollars and let people know that we love Prince and we still want to see Prince in the theater and all the things. And then also, if you haven't had an opportunity to listen to the newly released Sign of Times live in Rotterdam, 1987 from the Prince estate, we really appreciate that too. From the estate. And then again, like I said, the Eddie M interview from the Pop Life 40. And then I have the entire Romance 1600 album in case you want to listen to it if you haven't in a while to celebrate its anniversary. And look at Christina. This is so amazing. Can't wait for 30. And Christina has taken days off for it. I really appreciate it. And yes, we definitely want to pray for Dr. Funkenberry for sure. And yes, Gary Clark Jr. is really, really amazing as well. Let's see. Thank you, everyone. All right. So I think we're talking. So there, I'm glad, LTK, that you're bringing this up. I had some flyers. Unfortunately, I just ran out of time. There's two different things going on. There is something happening tonight in Stockbridge, Georgia, which is an actual concert with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis on stage with friends, and a lot of amazing friends. And I'm not even going to go to just do your Googles, as Michael Dean would say. That's happening tonight in Georgia. But Jimmy Jam is also coming to City Winery. And it's not going to be a live performance. It's just going to be him in a almost like a keynote style. So there's going to be a moderator, I would assume, unless he's just going to be telling stories on stage. But that's going to be more of a talk event. So that's two different things. And that talk event is happening at City Winery in Manhattan. But the concert with Jam and Lewis is happening tonight in Stockbridge, Georgia. And thank you, D68. That would be amazing. If you don't mind scanning it and just sending it to me digitally, it'd be really, really great. Just take some photos of it so I can read it. That would be amazing. Let's see if I missed anything else, because there's so many chats in here. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. I want to make sure I did pretty good, timekeeper. I'm just 4 minutes over. I'm going to try to keep it into our 2 hours. And I hope that some of you will be going to see Sign of the Times live in IMAX today. And if not today, you can still see it tomorrow. So we really, really, really want to make sure that the world knows that Prince is loved, that he is still relevant in 2025, that his music still matters, that Sign of the Times is one of the best albums ever recorded. And this is where I'm going to get a little controversial, especially with the Talking Heads fans, and where Sign of the Times Live is the best concert film ever. Ever, 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 ever. And I'll end it with that.